Things were looking pretty bleak in 2003. After all, a lot of internet businesses had gone out of business. Remember, a lot of them didn't have very real business models, and when the dot-com bubble burst, well, there was nothing left. I ended up laying off everybody, including myself. But in June 2003, something happened that would change the face of the internet landscape for business forever. Google launched their AdSense for Publishers program. Now, there's two sides to the Google advertising coin. On one side is Google AdWords, and this is where advertisers can bid on keywords and on a per-click basis have their ads show up when people search for related topics. So for example, if you had a travel-related industry, you might bid on the keywords cruise or air travel, and when somebody typed those into Google, your ads would come up and then you would pay for each and every click that somebody made on one of those ads, bringing them to your site. Well, the AdSense side was that Google invited publishers, anybody who had a website, to apply for an AdSense account, take a piece of code, put it on their website, and Google would automatically deliver ads that were contextually relevant to the content of the web page. So if you had a website about travel, then you would automatically receive ads relevant to the content of your page. Now here's the best part. When somebody visits the page and clicks on one of those ads, Google shares a portion of the ad revenue with the website owner. Great idea, right? Well, in June, I signed up for the AdSense program and I put the code on my site and I thought I was going to make a whole lot of money. Well, I was sorely disappointed to see that I was only making $2 or $3 a day. In fact, I was so disappointed that I decided not to mess with AdSense anymore and just let it go on its own. Well, this was a huge mistake. I teach people that they should always test whatever it is they're doing, and I didn't even take my own advice at this point, and I left a lot of money on the table in doing so. It was April 2004, and I was sitting in a small conference room at a mastermind with about 24 other internet entrepreneurs. Now, I had given up on AdSense at this point. At its peak, I was making maybe $20, $25 a day. Not enough to really pay for much to keep the business going. But I noticed the person sitting next to me had his laptop open, and he was on his Google AdSense report. He was earning $200 to $300 a day with AdSense. Well, as you can imagine, that got my attention. I said to him, "Really?" And he was like, "Uh-huh." So that day, sitting in the conference room, I began testing my AdSense. I began testing the various block sizes because they've got tall blocks, skinny blocks, fat blocks, short blocks, rectangular blocks, all different size ad blocks. I began testing the various color schemes because there were numerous combinations of colors you could put on your website. And I began testing the page placement, where the ads would appear on my web pages. That day, I went from $22 to over $80 in AdSense earnings. And I knew that this was the beginning of the turning of the tide. I continued testing my AdSense, and day after day I found myself making more and more. A few short months into my testing, and I cracked the code. I was now earning upwards of $500 a day in passive income with Google AdSense, some days reaching over $1,000 in that very same passive income. At this point, I began sharing what I had learned with some of my friends and associates. I remember contacting Chris Perillo of LockerGnome.com and telling him that although he had AdSense on his pages, the way he was using the AdSense blocks was not maximizing his revenue. Well, at that time, he told me he didn't have much time to talk about it. He was really busy, so he let it go. The next morning, I received an instant message from Chris. Popped up on my window, all capital letters, "Dude!" with an exclamation point. He had implemented what I showed him, and it's forever transformed his business model. I continued to help other friends and associates make more money with AdSense, and somebody suggested to me that I write a book on the topic. Well, I had never done any kind of book or ebook about making money online and wasn't sure how to proceed, but what I would do next would forever change my life. Stay tuned for the next episode of A .com Story. Hey, have you tuned into Joel Comm Live yet? That's right, every week it's a brand new live show right out of my offices here in Loveland, Colorado. I've got all kinds of interesting things to talk about, questions that we answer live, and special guests. So, to tune in, go to www.joelcomm.com/live.html, and I'll see you there.